Hi there, Chris here. So, yesterday I watched the Irish lockpicker open his brand new Andy Mack padlock tool set. And he was clearly disappointed with the set. And it kind of, he talked about it and you could tell he was disappointed. And it kind of got me thinking about what we as lockpickers kind of think about when there's a new tool we want. And I think inherently there's a problem because I think at least subconsciously, if I just had that tool, I would be picking lever locks like Andy Mack. And it's the tool is just the start. I think it was big time that way when people thought about getting this. Well, if I just had that tool, I would be picking disc detainer locks like Dawes and Albert and Rook Knight. If I just had that tool. Well, that's just the entry into it. That's just the entry into it. Because we're going to look at some tool packs. And there's a cool tool there. Here's a cool entry tool. Here's another very cool tool. More cool tools. And even more cool tools. But there's something missing in each and every one of these. If you open it up, you look and you find the tools and you find the cool stickers. You look under here and you look under there and no, it's not in there. Is it in here? No, it's not in there. It's got to be in here. I paid a lot of money for this. But no, I don't see it. And what all of these lack, all of them, is a new skill set. So with a new tool, and certainly a new style of lock, you have to develop a new skill set. So getting the tool or the pick set is just the entry into that. Murloc says, practice, patience, and perseverance. Well, that's how you develop your skill set. I've picked a lot of lever locks. With this, with homemade tools. Now I'm starting to do it with the Andy Macks. But I didn't automatically start out with my first tool. Where is it? Oh. My very first tool for picking lever locks from Pompey. Actually, this was what he sent with a Chubb Cruiser. And he didn't send his skill set along. I had to develop that on my own. I had to figure that out. I had to figure out the feel. I had to figure out the tension. And I was doing a video about that lock, and being quite honest, geez, I've had a pick in here, the pick and the tensioner many times, and I don't know what I'm feeling. And I was actually on video doing it, showing kind of my learning process, and I started feeling the levers. And I started feeling what I thought were sets. I was getting a little bit of core turns. And oddly enough, I actually opened that lock right there, and it was mind-blowing. And it is. The first time you open your first pin tumbler or your padlock, disc detainer, whatever it is, it's mind-blowing. It's a rush. That's why we all do this. But you need to kind of remember that these skill sets are developed. And we sort of have built-in subconscious thoughts. When I first got Andy Max wires, I thought, boy, they're kind of whippy. I don't know. I'm used to this. Okay, see how I hold this? See how I'm holding this? Well, that's not how. Go and watch the people who use the tools. This isn't how Andy holds it. This is how he holds it. Ah, it's backed up. He's measuring. It's not whippy. So when we're new to something, with especially a new tool and a new type of lock, it's very important to watch the people who either made the tool or have mastered the tool. Watch Daz, watch Albert. And, you know, these guys are honest about, hey, I didn't start out picking, popping these locks in 2 minutes, every single video. They learned how to do it. They put in the time. You've seen me pick a lot of different locks. Well, I probably pick on the average of 4 hours a day with a pick in my hand, with different types of locks, playing with them, picking them, opening them, failing, the whole thing. So you have to develop that, and you have to pay attention. And if you watch Albert, when he first started out, a lot of the great disc detainer pickers started out in a vise with it right sitting up and down, so that they could watch their orientation. Very important. Now, as they get better, they can grab a lock, hold it in their hand, tension it, and pick it. Well, but they do say, hey, it's easier to start, pay attention to that stuff. Pay attention to what they do with their hands. Listen to what they describe. That's all part of acquiring the skill set. And what about homemade tools? Are they good? Hell yes. You make a tool, you make it yourself, you learn way more than you do when you just buy a kit. I mean, making this looks simple, but you have to solve some problems, and you have to, you get to also just design it exactly how you want to. Exactly the thickness and the upstand and all of that, and test it and try it and test it. And as you're doing that, you are learning the tool and the lock and what you need to do. So yeah, definitely make homemade tools. Use some of these cool kits as samples as well. I mean, there's been a lot of thought put into all of these tools, and they're all very, very well made. So, but you can't utilize any of that or a homemade tool until you spend the time working with it, picking on it. And I think, who was it? I think LPG said, if it was easy, it wouldn't be any fun. When you pop a lock that you've been working on for a very long time, that high is amazing. So, getting discouraged, work on a lock for, 6 to 10 minutes. If you find yourself getting discouraged or frustrated, set it aside. Do something else. Pick an easy one. Go back to something that you pick all the time. And then pick up that other lock that you're working on down the road, later that day, next day, and see what you've learned and see how you progress. Anyway, I think the bottom line is it's not the set of tools it's the skill set that is what get you into locks. I mean, you've seen me pick an awful lot of locks with this combination. And these are simple tools. They work well for me. And the reason they work well for me is because I use them every day. and if you do something like that, use your tool every day. Try and pick different, higher and lower security locks so that you really get used to your feels, and whether it's dimples or levers or sliders or pin tumblers. You need to just work with it and get the feel. So it's not really the tools, but don't get me wrong, I mean, it's wonderful to use a brilliant set of tools. It's wonderful. But I also have as much fun picking a lock, maybe even a little bit more fun, picking a lock with a tool that I've made and a wire I've made, if I have one somewhere here, than an expensive tool set. So there you go. There's my ramble about tool sets. And like I say, when you open that box, that little thing, it's like you're not gonna find the skill set in there. It's gonna have to come from you. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, say hello to Slinky, and we will see you next time.